Hey fans, welcome back to TK and Mary's Outdoor Adventures. Thanks for your patience. I know it's been a long time since we've put out a video, but today we have something to make a video about. Today we are driving a hand well. And as you can see, a well is just a hole in the ground. So this is our second attempt at driving a hand well. We've had this property since about August of 2024. The first attempt didn't go so well. It ended with me getting knocked out cold with a pipe wrench, but you know, maybe that's that full story later. But today we've decided to make a second go of it. We've got our pipe, we've got our well point, we've got our pitcher pump, we've got everything that we need to do to drive this well. So what went into this was Mary and I both walked around with our witching sticks. We found several opportunities that we thought were the best hits, and this one was the best one in relation to our new setup of our new cabin. Evangeline, if you could pan over, that's the rough layout of our new cabin that our build will begin in May, and that'll be a whole nother series of videos. But for today, we got to get our own water. We've been toting water out from town. We've got a creek, and so we need to come up with a better way for water. So Mary, tell us what we're seeing in here.
So if you look at our hole in the ground, Evangeline, you want to come look a little closer. So we've got a lot of different layers going on here. This property is really rocky on top, which was the very first stuff that we pulled out. Then it went to this red clay layer, which is just very hard to get through. And then finally we hit this, I think it's door cheat loam, very sandy clay here, and this is where you start getting your water. So we were really lucky that we hit the water table within, what, Kate?
34 inches.
Yeah, so it's pretty lucky. So the next step here is putting in our sand point well. It's got a little drive tip on the end, so we'll start working on that, and then adding couplings and more pipe as needed until we get it a foot, water level a foot over the well point. But that's what's happening, so wish us luck. It's a lot of hard work in the game.
It's a lot of hard work. So honestly, this right now was probably the easiest part so far. But when we talk about a hand well, that's exactly what it is, because it's put in by hand, and it's basically just manpower, and it's basically 1.25 inch pipe. So we'll kind of go over that in a little bit. Just stay tuned, but it's good to be back. Hey there, welcome back. So now we've got the hole dug, and now it's time to pretend that we're plumbers. So Mary and I have watched a lot of other YouTube videos, most importantly Girl in the Woods and Dave Whipple, Bush Radical, gave us confidence to be able to do this on our own land, on our own. So, you know, hopefully it goes as well as what they showed us. But what I want to make sure that you have is OD pipe joint compound. There's other types of pipe compounds out there, but from what we understand, that this OD is the best way to do it. There's also drive couplings. This, for instance, is a drive coupling. So you can't just go to the hardware store and get 1.25 inch galvanized couplings. That's not going to stand up to the sledgehammer or whatever you're hitting it with. So you have to make sure you have drive couplings. So I've got one right here. I've also got some really thick ones here. This is going to stand up to actually hitting the pipe. So as you can see, this one is a little bit thicker, and that's what I'm actually going to put on the top to drive it down. We're going to use basically a couple different things. We've got a man killer, which is a T-post driver, and also sledgehammer. So between those things, hopefully our sand is pretty soft. But first off, what you want to do is you want to take your compound, you want to stir it up, and it's got a little brush on the end of it. But what you want to do is you want to get this stuff into the threads. And what you want to do, stay away from the top 2 threads, because what you don't want is pipe joint compound in your drinking water. If you get this inside the pipe somehow, or in between the coupling and the pipe, you're going to taste it for a little while. So you want to stay away from the top 2. Other way is just, you know, using this little brush, and you're getting down in between all of these little threads. You just go around several times, making sure. I'm not a plumber, but I have seen one on TV. So you want to do that for each time you add another piece of pipe. And what we're thinking, we're probably going to have to do this 3 times. And so in a second, I'm going to put this coupling on, and I'm going to put another piece of pipe on. So just hang tight. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. So we've put everything together so far for this first joint. We've got the well point down there with the blue, and it's serrated. It will let water in, but it won't let fine things like silt and clay and dirt in it. We went with a 4-foot piece of pipe, and this is 1¼ inch galvanized pipe. We decided on 4 foot because we've already hit water. So we've got about 4 or 5 inches of water already just from digging the hole with the post hole diggers. I've got a heavy duty coupling right here. And so theoretically what I'd like to have done is to clean out each pipe, like really go through it, clean it, scrub it. But unfortunately we don't have that capability out here. So we're just having to go with it, you know, so if there's any rust, we'll just have to run it through. So basically I'm gonna go with a man killer, which is a T-post driver. I'm gonna put it on top. I'm gonna drive it until I can get it nice and level. And then I'm gonna go start swinging on it with the sledgehammer. So this is our second attempt, like I said earlier. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this one's gonna go a lot better than the first one. So we'll probably get a couple shots of us driving, but it's going to get pretty loud here. So as you can see, I've got my hearing protection. Banjo's got her hearing protection. Mom here, Mary's got her homemade God-given hearing protection. She's going to use that. So hopefully within the next an hour or so, we may have some drinking water. So stay with us, and I may not be able to hear you after this. So stay with us, and we'll see how it goes. All right, welcome back. So this is our second joint of pipe. It's another 4-footer. So basically we've been running a tape measure down the pipe, and we have 3 foot of water so far. The instructions on the well point say that you need to have at least 1 foot of water above the point. So that means we need to go at least another foot down. Now I'm not convinced that that's as far as we need to go, but we've got another 4-footer. So I'd like to drive this at least till about right here. That'd be a good spot to, you know, you don't want your pitcher pump too high. You don't want your pitcher pump too low. So with this, our second joint. If we get about halfway through here, I feel like we're going to be at about 10 foot deep. And I'll be happy with that. And then, but Evangeline is about to get on, and she's going to use the man killer for a little bit because my arms are getting pretty tired, so I need a little bit of break. So I'm gonna put a little footage of Banjo manning the man killer, or the banjo killer, here in a second. So we are making good progress, in my opinion. Mary's very excited so far. She's optimistic. I'm trying not to get my hopes up too far because I know that things can go wrong, but I'm just really happy that we've had the confidence to be able to do things like this. And if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. So we can always try again. But let's hope that we don't have to do that. So here goes more noise and more manpower. Arr. Go, Banjo. Hit it. It's moving. We do not recommend Crocs for the appropriate footwear for this job. There you go. 3 more. All that for 2 more inches. Well, hello and welcome back. If you're seeing this, you're probably thinking, wow, TK and Mary, you really did it. Great job. And I wouldn't blame you. However, it didn't quite work out. We worked on it for a few hours. We are currently 9 feet in the ground. We have 5 feet of water in the hole. So we are 2 feet above the point, which theoretically should be enough. But on my last few drives with the sledgehammer, I must have bent the threads So when I pulled off the man killer, I could tell immediately that the drive coupling was bent. So we were able to get the drive coupling off, so we averted disaster there. I went ahead, we said, well, let's just give it a shot. Without putting the valve and all that on there, we just put the pitcher pump on there to see if we could pull water. It's definitely pushing air, but it's not sealed. So what's gonna have to happen is I'm gonna have to cut this off below the threads, and then I'm going to have to re-thread this piece of pipe. We're 9 feet in the ground. I can't just give up now. So I'm gonna cut it off. I'm gonna re-thread it with a tap and die set, and then I'm gonna go ahead and seal it up good. Hopefully by that point, I can either do one of two things. I can either keep going, or I can go ahead and set up the pump and try to pull some water. So it's getting late in the day. There's nothing else that's going to happen today. We just enjoyed a little bit of Burgess from Louisville, Arkansas, so that's real nice, but everybody's hands are tired. We're all kind of fed up for the day, but we're not going to give up. And that's the thing about trying to run a cabin or a homestead or owning land. You learn so many different things, different skills and things that you didn't really know how to do. So this is just another one of those things. But we're a lot further right now than we were earlier. One thing I will say that I did not see on any of the videos that I watched is to be careful about bending or belling the threads. And now that has happened to me twice. I've used one of these drive caps on the first one, and I belled the threads. We ended up having to pull out the whole well. It was about 6 or 8 feet in. So then I decided I was going to go with a cap, a heavy coupling, a heavy duty coupling. The first joint went great, no problem. But after hitting that coupling so many times, I don't know when or when it happened, but we messed up those threads. So all is not lost. We're going to have water here soon. So I guess I get to do a new pipe threading video here shortly. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll hope to finish this well on another episode. And thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Y'all get out there.